Today, I want to talk about what cult leaders are experiencing and do they suffer and how they're suffering. Let's get into it immediately. Let's start off with what is the definition of a cult leader? You know, we're familiar with cults and what they're doing, but what is a cult leader? Let's see. A cult leader is the central authoritative figure in a group or movement who demands absolute loyalty and exercises extreme control over their followers' lives. Cult leaders are often narcissistic, they're controlling, they want to control and brainwash people into thinking that their way is the best way, the only way. They can control people with giving them money or having sex with them or making them have sex with them or being part that you're allowed to be part of this person's life as their wife or as their husband or whatever. So and they are fear mongering people into thinking that they're doing the right thing. They can lose a lot of money under the idea of this is spiritual, so it's good. What I'm saying is right. This is the right way. And people are even people that have not never thought that they could fall into this are falling into this. They're breaking people down. So there's a lot of fear mongering within cult leaders' life, and he has to hold on to an idea that he's created. He's like bringing people in, a lot of people in, and he's building it up for himself. Like a cult leader is very ego driven, usually forcing people to do things or like slowly forcing people to do things, and they turn out to be very unhealthy. And also for the cult leader themselves, the cult leader is actually in constant fear because they have to keep up with their appearances of looking good. That is also a reason why other people around that are not, they're separating people from their loved ones. They're separating people from the normal life, the life they were living. Like they say, for instance, quit your job because it's not good for you. I can tell you're not happy there. And your family members, your parents are disturbing. They're controlling you. You need to leave them. This is not what I wanted, or the messages given, for instance, from a god type. So cult leaders can like present themselves or even believe it so much in their own head that they are receiving messages from a god, whatever. It can be anything, an angel. Maybe they believe they are like a Jesus, a second coming. They could be thinking that they're a goddess, or a person next to them is a goddess, or maybe even a chosen person in the group is becoming higher up. Their grades within certain cults. They can believe they are a divine figure. It can be as crazy as you want. It can be anything, you know. It's based on divinity, on spirituality, maybe even Christianity, saying that it's Christianity. It's not. It's a control tactic, and usually, I think what it's partially sometimes people believing that they actually are actually a divine being. The other side is that they're a very good, they're very manipulative and they can get a lot of money out of it or whatever they want, sleep with the most beautiful women or whatever. They can do whatever because they know how to control people, and especially people that are not very strong within themselves, or they don't have any direction, are usually looking for something divine, spiritual. And if you're talking about God, sometimes, but not the exact Christian God or anything around it, angels maybe. People can be like, if they don't have a good relationship with Christianity, but you're still talking about Jesus or God or whatever, angels, people usually are looking for spirituality anyways, and they will get into it. It always comes off first as a very beautiful experience for them as well. They start to see like, oh, I'm gaining all these beautiful things are happening. Like they feel like they're getting up a ladder or stairs of control. They can control. Maybe they're already very good at it as well. Or maybe sometimes it's a public figure that is doing this, that knows how to start something. They feel like maybe they have a way, or they feel like very out of themselves They feel very grand because of that. And some people can feel like they are coming closer to God, or like a higher state of being, and that they are not a God. And some people are coming closer to that and they think they're God. Yeah, it's a very, very ego driven experience for them. And so, cult leaders, if they are interfering with the outside world, they're being seen as very strong, like mentally strong, maybe. Maybe they're very encouraging. Maybe they can be very strong, very movable, whatever, a strong personality that can control over people. But when they're dealing with the outside world, they can be very fearful and they can come off as very unstable. If other people are visiting or coming in, they can be scared of losing their own money. They can be scared of everything breaking down. I think they need to, like, they're thinking every day that this can end, or maybe they're so stuck up in themselves and how good they are that they are not feeling that anymore. The reality can show them, and then sometimes years later they can be very traumatized, talking about this in the media, and that they have been fucked over, they've been screwed over, and we're so sad, and I'm so sad, and I've lost everything, and whatever, and then keep on manipulating the media and people around that, and saying like, this is what happened to us, this is what happened to me, especially, that it's, or they keep on continuing trying to build another cult, something like that, trying to sell themselves and like fool people. But they can come off like they don't want to be part of the outside world because they feel like they are maybe good enough for the outside world. Maybe they are afraid. They had some experiences in the past that are driving them off from society as it is. Or they are, like I said, a public figure can be a person with a lot of power as well already. So they have a following already, and people can come with them. Or also they can, like, public figures can also be part of a cult and get followers in through their own social media platforms, or through their presence as a movie star, or a whatever, like they're in some shows, or they're a musician. That can also be a thing. And sometimes it's just a lot of people are coming from a very normal childhood and they climb up, but some people are using it for evil and putting it under the mask of this is Christian, or this, or like, no, yeah, this is Christian, or this is actually a loving spiritual new age community, or this is a Buddhistic or like a Hinduistic side road that is better than the original. This is a more modern type of way, or like we work with aliens. Aliens. My hair is not messy enough. Okay. People are suffering being a cult leader as well. A cult leader can love bomb a person so they think they're the best. They can be in charge of something from the beginning, or they feel like they are a part of it. Like they think they are doing good deeds and it's working against them. And they put a lot of time into it and a lot of effort, and they are exhausted at the end of the day. And that is crazy and it's sad. And yeah, it should not happen. But this is the reality of people, humans, and how we work together. And sometimes people are not even noticing it themselves until they are digging a hole and they fall into it themselves. So, okay, that was it. That's what I wanted to talk about. Like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Tell me if you've ever been, maybe you've been a cult leader, or maybe you've been very close to a cult leader, and what you have been experiencing. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.